Okay, welcome, Tony.
Yeah.
Zulma.
Tess.
Tibor.
Jacinta.
Lucky. Chris.
Carl.
Chris.
Anita.
Ross.
Jane.
Ida.
Dean.
Mitra.
And Bob.
Bob.
Can I just...
Oh, well.
Hello, darling.
Morning, everyone.
Morning,
Hello.
And you know, it's all it is. It's the same old, over and over again. And why not? Because if it's absolute, it's one without a second, that's all it is anyway. So how can you get anything else? Can't teach you anything? Can't tell you anything. So all I can do is point toward and ask you to look to where I'm pointing to see for yourself. Because when you look into it, there's nobody other than yourself that can see it or recognize it. Because what we point to is non-duality, or what they call in the Hindus, which is Advaita, non-dual, one without a second, not two, only that. So there's only that in this room. That is all there is. And you know that already. You say that's the chair, that's the tree, that's the flower, that's the bird. That everything is that, which discriminate with the words. We didn't have the word, it is all the one essence. Patterning, shaping, pairing, expressing, in every variety of shapes, forms and patterns. But it's never changed its true nature. And they say it's the basic space of phenomena. The base of it all is space. And is there anyone who's sitting outside of space now? Anyone who's not in the space?
Because people say they can't hear very well online.
Space is all there is. Only that. Can't postulate or think of anything outside of space. What would it be in? So all this manifestation is the adornment of that space. All appearance. And they call it a phenomenal manifestation. And the definition of phenomena is that which appears to be. So whether you like it or not, you, I, and everything else is appearance only seemingly so. Like you look in the mirror, what do you see in the mirror? You see a reflection or an image. Go up and try and grab that reflection out of the mirror, if you can, or the image. You can't. So you can't say it's not there because it appears to be. When you look into it and investigate, there's nothing there. And that's the same with us when you investigate this idea you are this separate entity, this person, this individual. I tell you the false cannot stand up to investigation. And it's true. And you know, and they say know the truth and the truth will set you free. What are you free from? Free from the belief that you are this separate, this person. Where does that word person come from? And from the ancient Latin, persona, the mask. And you believe the person, you've got this conceptual image, the mask. I am so-and-so. But it's all the absolute, the one essence, the pattern, shapes and forms, appearing and expresses as everything. What can you add to absolute? Can't add anything to it. It wouldn't be absolute. What can you take away from absolute? You can't take anything away from it. It's a God. In Buddhism, that's why it's a great definition. Now, if you recognise that you are the absolute, who can be superior to you? I've got this idea there's somebody superior or better than others. Who can be inferior to you? So I'm better than someone else. And what would you want from anybody else?
Okay, Bob, can you give us just a second? We change the mic, okay? People say the mic is not good.
What?
Just 1 second. We change the microphone. People say the microphone is not good. So we're gonna get a different one. Give us the extension.
That's it. It goes straight into that. That goes to Bob. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
This one goes here.
Yeah, I'll take care of that one.
Sorry for that.
And that goes.
That one goes.
That's all
One
right.
goes straight here.
Doesn't matter about this for now.
And this
Yeah.
one goes here.
That doesn't matter for now. Thank you.
Sorry for that. Break for a silence. Now, go on.
Should be better now.
Right?
Yep.
Well, where did this idea of separation begin? Well, when you have a look at it, it came with the learning words. How many words were you born with? You weren't born with any words at all. And you didn't pick up any words till you were about 2 and a half. Might have been a bit sooner or a bit later. Depends how smart you are. And your parents fussing around you called a little Johnny or a little Jane or whatever your name might be. And then it took it, I am your little Jane. And you've believed it ever since. And it tells you in the Bible, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God. The Word was God. That's all God is another Word. All things were made by Him, by the Word. Well, isn't that so? Haven't you got Word of everything in this manifestation? You've got Word for it. And there's nothing made without the Word. So we've taken on that belief. And that's another thing we need to look at. The definition of belief. When you look into a belief, the definition of belief is an unquestioned acceptance of something in the absence of reason. Acceptance of an alleged fact without positive knowledge or proof. Well, wouldn't you question beliefs and see if they're right or not? When you do, you'll see that the false cannot stand up to investigation. And there's so many things out there that you believe to be so when you looked into them to see not as they appear to be. Take the ocean, for instance. Go down to the ocean. If I said to you, get me a bucket of blue water out of the sea, what did you say? You'd say, don't be stupid, because you know, though it appears to be blue, water is not blue. And go up in the blue sky, and it's no clouds in the sky, it's a blue canopy over it. Sky is space. Space is in this room. What colour is this room? Space. No colour at all. A rainbow. There can be colours in the sky. Just the sun shining through the mist, the cloud, forms colours in the sky. Just the same it is in this room. When the sun shines through the window here, there'll be patterns of colour appear on the floor. But they're not there. So things are not how they seem to be, how they appear to be. The same with us. We appear to be this person, and the person is not reality. It comes from the Latin persona, the mask, a conceptual image, a mask of concepts. And what are concepts? Words. And what are words? Are the words the thing? Take the word water. Try and drink the word. Try and swim in it. See if you can drown in the word. Take the word fire. Try and cook with it. Heat yourself. Or burn yourself with it. So look at this word, I or me. Are you this person, this body, mind? Am I the body? We say, well, you say my body. You say my house, my car, my coach. You know you're not the house, the car or the body, the house, car, or whatever it is, coat. Maybe you're not the mind either. My mind. What's the person made up of you? This body made up of? Have a look, investigate. You'll see it's made up of elements, air, earth, fire, water, space. Just like the elements around you. Try and separate yourself from those elements. Take the body temperature out of it. Take the water out of it, body 60%. Take the fire, the body temperature. Take the life, the energy out of it. So you reckon all these things fall apart, and all those elements can be broken down into subatomic particles, into pure energy. So this body is nothing but a vibration of energy. Same with the mind. Show me this thing you call mind. You say, my mind. Well, show me your mind. I can't show you anything called mind because there's no such thing as mind apart from thought. And if mind is thought, which particular thought would I be? We realise the primary thought is that I am thought. Now, if you're that thought, and believe you're that thought, I am this person, I am this body, you'd be frightened to give it up, wouldn't you? Yet you gladly give it up every night when you go to sleep. And let's say naturally you don't know. Don't believe that we're saying my body, my mind. You know you're not the mind, the thought, because you did give up the thoughts. And thoughts are constantly changing, they're transient. Where does this body come from if you take the body? Go back as far as your father and your mother. That animating life essence is pattern-shaped and formed your father. In that pattern forms a little microscopic particle called a sperm to form. You can't see it with the naked eye, but that sperm was suffused with intelligence. It knew what to do. The same in the mother. That animating life essence in your mother formed another microscopic particle called an egg or an ovum to form. That ovum attached itself to the wall of the uterus, and the sperm swam to the ovum, showing there was life in those two little microscopic particles. When those two merged and came together, double to double, what happened? For a period of time, the little embryo, the little fetus was formed. And over a period of so-called time again, you became you, the person. And that person didn't have any words when you were born. And you didn't pick up words till the capacity of reasoning developed in you at about 2.5, somewhere in that age. So you'll see, things are not how they appear to be. And there is nothing you can postulate or think of or imagine that could be out of space. What would it be in? And can you grasp space? Can you find a beginning to space? Can you postulate or think of a beginning? They talk about the Big Bang millions of years ago, but what would the Big Bang be in, if there was such a thing? Would it have to be in space also? There's nothing you can postulate or think of that could be outside of space. Space is no thing. It's got no pattern, shape or form at all. And all this manifestation is made up of things. Insects, birds, bees, animals, all sorts of trees, flowers and everything are all things, the content of space. And there's nothing you can postulate or think of that could be outside of space. And space itself is no thing. It has no beginning, no end, no boundaries, no shape, no form, no patterns. They all appear as the content of space. Just like you dream a dream, all sorts of things appear in your dream. When do you wake up? Where did they go? They disappear. And you realise that your body had never moved off the bed and no words had come out of your mouth in that dream. you don't realise that we wake up to this waking dream. And this dream, this waking dream, the sleep dream, the things disappear in it. This waking dream continues from where it left off yesterday or last night. You wake up this morning and the room's there, the beds you're in, and still there, all these things are still there. And they continue on from there. And Nisargadatta tells us that he calls it, you are dreaming a dream you call the world. And stop looking for ways out. The dream is not your concern. Your concern is you love one part of the dream and not the other. Love all of it or none of it. And the rest will be done for you. And hasn't that been so? What have you done about growing yourself? Which of you, as Christ told you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit to his stature? You can't add yourself and make yourself an inch taller by thinking about it. And he tells you, take no thought for your life. What you shall eat, what you shall drink, or what you wear. Your Father knoweth you have need of these things. He calls it the Father, the Big Daddy. But there's no Big Daddy out there. The Father is that life essence, that functioning intelligence energy. That pattern, shapes and forms experiences as everything. So it's the very essence of every pattern, shape and form, including you, me, in this manifestation. And that's what they tell you in this. The great mantra is, I am that. When you have a look at that, you see that's the chair, that's the tree, that's the flower, that's the carpet. Everything is that. That's you, that's me, which we put the word on and discriminate it with the word. And I told you what the word was before. It was a discriminating thought. And have a look at that. What's your next thought going to be? And you'll say, I don't know what my next thought is. And if so, the thought will come up though. The thought arises. It comes up. And it claims, I think. We claim it with the thought, I think. And that thought, I think, is what we call the thinker. The thinker is the subject. I am, this thinker, this has become the subject. And the thought I'm thinking become the object. Subject-object is duality. But can there be a thinker without thinking? There can't be a thinker without thinking. There can't be a seer without seeing. There can't be the hearer without hearing. So the subject, I think, I see, I hear, I taste, I smell, I touch, is a conceptual image we've taken on board. And the actual functioning is seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, thinking. The ing is the actual. When we put the I on, we separate it into me and the other. It's a duality. So it still hasn't moved away from absolute. And I am that. So that's what we point out here, that it's all the one essence. And a lot of you here already understand that. You've recognised it. It's brought you to look along those lines when we're stuck in a lot of the religious patterns, shapes and forms, which are based on it, but it's got conditioned and put wrong takes on it, instead of seeing it as absoluteness. For it's only me that can be fearful. It's only me that can be unhappy. Only me can be anxious or depressed, guilty or jealous, envy. Me is the cause, the belief in this conceptual image, me is the cause of all your psychological suffering. And the effects are the anger, the fear, the depression, the guilt. What happens if you investigate the cause, me, and recognise it's only a concept? It's only a word. There's no such thing as me without the word, without the concept. And ask yourself the simple question, can there be an effect without a cause? Me is the cause of all the psychological suffering, and the effect of that cause is the anger, the fear, the depression, the guilt. All the suffering is the effects of the cause. So that's all karma is, cause and effect. When you see the cause as a fiction, how can there be an effect without a cause? There can't be. So you can be free of all this psychological suffering when they're questioning it, looking into it. The belief goes into the words, the concepts, and the Buddha called it a cognizing emptiness. And we think we cognize the emptiness, we're seeing the emptiness. But it is the emptiness itself that's doing the cognizing. And he made the statement that emptiness is form. You and I and everything in this manifestation are forms. And the form, he says, can be nothing other than the emptiness. It's that emptiness that has the capacity of cognizing or knowing. And that cognizing or knowing, thoughts and feelings that appear, and the words and concepts go into them, which we're continually dividing things, taking the belief. Some words can be very useful. They're understood and recognised. But the majority, when we put the belief that me and that trap onto them, that there's an entity here that can think, can feel, say, touch and do and all these things, is the problem. But the seeing, hearing, the tasting, touching, talking, the life or the livingness is spontaneous. Did you think to take that next breath? Did you think to beat your heart right now? What's your next thought going to be? You don't know. Thinking happens. Breathing happens. Hunger happens. All these things come up. We put the label or the word on them and believe the word and the label. Instead of seeing the natural life, which Christ told you, I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. He wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about that sense of presence that expresses through the mind as the thought I am. We keep telling ourselves, I am this, I am that. I am this person, because our parents put the name on it. But if you investigate and see that that I am is the sense of presence, the knowing that you are. Anyone who is not present, aware right now, and you realise, of course I'm present and aware. It's Satchitananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. Anyone who is not existing, and you know, I am existing right now. Anyone who's unconscious or unaware, you're not unconscious or unaware. Anyone who's not happy to be, no, I am happy to be. And that is so right now. You don't have to try to become that or get to it. Just recognised or realise I am already that existence. I am already that awareness or consciousness. Already so. And so there's no search. The search becomes a problem. Because the search is belief that I needs to become something. And becoming is a movement of time. And when you look at time, you'll see there's no such thing as time. Is there a past if you don't think about it? Well, I think, and you realise there's no past unless you think about it. The past is already gone. And the only thing about the past is what you can recall right now. And you can't recall everything that's happened in the past, only certain things can be recalled. And when the memory goes and not recalled, it's gone. And the future hasn't arrived. The future is anticipation and imagination. And you can only anticipate and imagine what you're going to do next. So, when you recognise that, you'll see there's no past and no future. So there's no becoming. Becoming implies there's somebody that can become something. So time, space is the one essence, the one life that you are, and you are that. Recognise that. And as I say, there's people here that have seen through it and know it. They can point it out and say it in different ways, where somebody that might be struggling it might hear it and resonate with what comes up. And that's what happened to these people who understand it. They've resonated with it. It's always been there. And in hearing something and recognising and resonating it, and keep recognising and seeing it, and it's become the reality, the absolute, which is always, no becoming it, was always, and will always be so. But it's understood as soon as that. So away you go. Long enough. Doing the same old shit.
Always new. Ever new, fresh and new.
Correct, there you are, there's a good statement. It's always ever fresh and new. Time's a mental concept.
Cats are coming.
To the rescue.
Yes, and we don't have anyone from online asking questions at the moment. They did help us a lot with the sound, and thank you. So,
I can't hear you.
okay, you can. So we will invite you guys to now ask questions, participate, tell us what you heard, what pointer resonated the most, what causes some, whatever reaction, whatever from what you heard caused reaction, positive, negative, anything. That is the response. Anita, go on.
First What always hits me with Bob's spiel is that, there's only now. There's only now. There's not becoming. It's not past. There's no future. There's only now. And the now is so immediate. There's no time in the now either.
Oh.
Yeah, and that always, that's recalling that always is just so magnificent for me. Yeah, and I think it's a powerful teaching, just that.
Can't say you are not.
Yeah.
You can say it, but what enables you to say it? Being right now.
Yeah, right now.
Just the word concept today, like I've heard it a million times, but everything is imagined and it's just a concept. It's not real, and I'd never really thought about it before until today, that concept, that really just... I mean, I know lots of things now, but just, sometimes you just wake up to anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, could you say something again about emptiness is form and form is emptiness?
Yeah.
Mind?
Well, the Buddha called it a cognizing emptiness. Meaning that there's no... We think we cognise the emptiness, but it's not. It's that emptiness itself. There's a cognising or recognising in the mind. And he made the statement then that this emptiness is form. Cognising the space, it's all empty. It's all... meaning that all the forms, you, me, and everything else that appears as forms are empty. Emptiness is form, and he says the form can be nothing other than the emptiness. Though we're appearing to be solid, and all this manifestation is appearing to be solid and substantial, it's all empty. Cognising emptiness. An adornment of space. It's all the content of space. There's nothing you can postulate or think of that could be outside of space. What would it be in? Have to be in space. And space is no thing. But we've got all these patterns, shapes and forms, adornments, and think they're things. Just like reflections in the mirror. There appears to be a reflection in the mirror, or an image in the mirror. Go up and try and grab it out of the mirror. You can't say it's not there. It's appearing to be there, but you know there's nothing there that you can grab when you understand and recognise it.
Or the dream at night, all made of nothing. The whole universe in the dream made of nothing. And seems so realistic. And even in this world, Einstein put it in a simple equation, E equals mc squared. Every matter is empty. Matter is energy.
Shaping and forming,
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh, I don't know.
Spontaneous eruptions.
Yeah, I don't know where they're coming from. Like I've heard Bob say before, we're form and formless, and it took me ages to get it. But I come in this form, say this body, as a form, but at the same time I'm formless, I'm nothing. So that's, we are form and less formless.
Yeah, beautiful.
There you go, Ross.
Shakespeare turned that around, looking from the opposite direction. So it wasn't the cognizing emptiness from the point of view of an individual telling a story. The way one of his characters put it was, "'tis a tale told by an idiot, signifying nothing."
Full of sound and fury.
Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. There it is again.
Questions coming up. So, this, you say that everything arises in the space. So, and this space, if has got a cognition ability, it's aware basically. Is that what you're saying? The whole space, the space itself.
Of course, it's aware through the body it grew for itself. Through you.
Right.
Are you unaware right now?
No.
So you must be aware.
Yes.
So what's awareness? You can't really put any concept in it.
No.
But you can't negate it, and you can't say, I am not.
I agree. I can say, but I also cannot say that awareness operates outside this body and mind.
Why would you need to?
What's the body and the mind in?
In the space.
Right.
So
if it's in the body, mind, body, mind's in space, it must be the space itself.
That's correct. But if I say that, it's like believing what you say, that I totally believe you saying the truth, but it's not my realization. So that when it comes to, there should be a realization, right? Realization is different with things make sense. What you're saying totally makes sense, but there is no realization in me.
Well, how could you say it made sense if you didn't recognise or realise it?
Because I still cannot say that the awareness that is outside this body and mind is
What can you say?
has got cognition ability.
What?
I haven't seen it. I haven't experienced that.
What is there that is not outside that body and mind?
Sorry, say that again.
What is it that's not outside the body and the mind? What do you know that you're not seeing through the body and mind?
What do I know that?
Isn't that the pattern that you're recognising things, as you're just saying, through your body and the mind. The life is in the body.
Yes.
And what's the body and mind in?
In the space.
Where are you going to go from there?
But
yeah.
there's always a but. I realise that. But I can, okay,
Wait a
yeah.
minute.
This body and mind is in this space, and I can see that there is no limit into this. I can say that when I see anything, I'm not bound to this body. I can say that. When I'm hearing, I can hear from far. So that suggests that there is no boundary. And when I close my eyes, I can't really see any boundary in my body. But I cannot say...
Is that word but again?
I know.
Yeah,
I can't realise
as I
that...
say, did you ever smoke?
Smoke a lot, yeah.
Well, what did you do with the butts?
Oh, I threw them away.
Well, throw the butts away.
Right.
As soon as you say but, you start with another story.
I see what Jacinta recognized just now, the concept. If you just contemplate a little bit on what is the concept, what is conceptualization. Because I'm totally with you when you say, yes, but I can't say that some imaginary floating awareness there has the intelligence or capacity to cognize in it. I can't say it. Well, I can't say it either. Nobody can say it in their sane mind. That's an idiotic concept. But what it is a concept. It's an imaginary mental construct that there should be a possibility for me to say that some space, whatever, on Mars is intelligent. Why would that be necessary for anything? That's supremely stupid to even conceptualize an idea like that. See, it is a direct experience. It isn't a theoretical knowledge about some theoretical situations and states. Directly, right now, there is a cognition. Now, that cognition is undeniable. Can you deny that you are aware of presence or present or existent? No. Now you can claim that, okay, I end here and something else ends there, and I don't know, they might be, there is a rock, this rock is not intelligent, it's not cognizing, but this is all conceptualization. You are moving away from the direct experience into the conceptualization and making stories. Through engaging with the mind and making stories, there is no realization. Realization is only in direct experience. If in direct experience you do realize that you are present and aware, you actually realize all that is ever to be realized. You may not realize that, some guy in Nigeria or in South Africa has coffee. Yeah, I don't realize that either. But what does it matter? Direct experience is what we're talking about.
Okay.
You're present and aware. But
No. I think my question is actually, I think I now kind of got my question. There is a clear seeing, right? But there's a difference between clear seeing and realization.
There is a difference between clear seeing and conceptualization. That's right. And you have clear seeing right now, but you're conceptualizing that you don't because you're imagining that clear seeing is something else than what you have right now. That's the problem. Conceptualization. Realization that the clear seeing is going on is immediate as soon as you stop thinking. Conceptualization that no, this is not it. There must be something else because my imagination says that it would be something else. So I believe my imagination and not my experience.
Well, I'm referring, yeah. You wanted to say something?
Nothing can trouble you except your own imagination.
Yeah. But, Kate,
But
no,
How much?
I threw that but in the bin, but...
How much more you need to realize that you're existing?
No, well, you remember you told me this story and, you know, that you came to see Bob and there was a moment of clarity.
You're waiting for a moment. There is a lot of people who have just the peeling of an onion moments, and they add up till the reference point just drops away and doesn't arise, or arise very rarely for very little. There are people who do have a moment when that identity breaks down, but probably more than not will have just a moment of peeling off the lies, dissolving the nonsense. So every moment of recognition of dissolving the nonsense is a moment where the natural state is grounded. And then reference point arises and it falls away, arises and it falls away. And at some point, the reference point as space-like awareness or lack of reference point is predominant. Don't wait for the moment. It never appears twice in the same way.
Okay.
that does happen. You see something and you say, I see it, saw through that. You've said that many times this morning. But then the but comes in. As soon as the but comes in, instead of period, full stop, when the but comes in, you start another story. Back in the mind again. What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it?
Nothing.
And also, if I could say something, I love how Kat said, you know, she had a moment of clarity, and I think, you know, a moment of clarity is you see the insanity of relating to a story, you know, because you just are. You already are that. So the minute that story comes up again, you know, it's you're relating to a dead image. You know, you want a dead image to be realised. You say you're talking about realisation. That's what you seem to have a hook on. Who is it that wants to be realised? Is that image you have about yourself, that story of you? It can never happen. It can never ever happen because you are already that.
Yeah. I get that exactly. I get that, but I'm waiting for that moment of clarity, which you said shouldn't you?
When you see it, when you get clear in that moment, but as soon as you say "but," you've blocked the clarity off yourself. Does it rest in its uncontrived singularity? Don't contrive anything more than that.
And the moment is now. It's now. See, recently we had an interview with a beautiful Polish girl who does non-duality in my homeland. And she asked Bob what's the most important pointer that he would have to say to people. And he says, you are already that. There is nothing to get. There is nothing to understand. It's just a simple recognition of what is already happening. If you think the perception is going to change or thinking pattern is going to change or anything is going to change, no. It's the recognition of what is already so and what's been so a year ago, 10 years ago and 20 years ago. Always here, underlying, is the concepts that are telling you that you are not getting it or you're not that or I wait for the moment or I want to realize or I am not that or I understand intellectually. All those concepts, put them at rest and see if right now, at this moment, you don't know directly, fully, with 100% certainty that you exist. And you do know that. You just don't think that's big enough or that's important enough or that's exciting enough. The miracle of existence, you know, it's not exciting enough. Oh, come on, I'm existing, so what? Really? I mean, the mind says that's nothing, that's bullshit. Yeah, it's for granted. But if you take that one apart, that mind that always, no, that's not enough pleasure now. Well, it's not nothing. It's not nothing. Take it to the heart and see what the incredible miracle of existence, the radiance of being. See what it really, really is, and you won't see it as it, because that is who you are. But just that, even that recognition of that incredible mystery, of the capacities that you experience through that existence, the capacity for seeing. How do you even do seeing? You have no idea. But what an incredible capacity. Incredible capacity to hear, enveloping the whole field. And the mind says, yeah, whatever. Nah, it's not nothing. And you are certain of it, 100%. Right now. And now. And now. Aren't you? What's wrong?
I see what you're saying. But
What?
there is... I thought there should be, because I have a very dad-full mind, dads just come up all the time. And I'm still waiting, I have to say, for that moment of clear seeing. All you say without any dad, like it's so clear, like it was for you, that I cannot be dad-full of it.
You're aware of that waiting, aren't you? You're aware that there is a waiting pattern, or there is a sensation of rejection for that moment happening. Are you aware of that? That you are rejecting that moment, that no, this is not good enough, it has to be bigger and better, I'm waiting for something special, this is wrong, God is an idiot, He created that moment imperfect, I know better how this moment should be.
No, it's not like that. It's more
kind
like...
of.
Yeah.
It's not good enough.
That's
You're
what's
waiting for
implied.
something else, right?
Yeah.
Not this. This is no good. Something else. Something bigger. Something more profound.
No,
Not this.
I'm waiting for something like what happened to you.
You don't know what happened to me. This was the most insignificant thing ever. And at the same time, it was transformational, of course. But really what happened, that whole cloud of concepts and persistent identity of being a seeker who needs to get something, has given up, completely naturally surrendered. So nothing happened. It was like a moment of sudden quietness and nothing else. There was no fireworks. There was no earthquakes.
I agree. It's very subtle. Yeah.
So it is now. It's
mean-
very subtle. You're missing it now.
Right. It happened to me also, right, in a very subtle way that I even didn't realize in the very beginning, that I was in total peace, liberation, flow, synchronicity. All of a sudden, I didn't even realize it in the first couple of minutes. And then I noticed something is different, and
it was
stayed
gone.
like 3 weeks like that. But I didn't know. I understand. Every time these kind of things happen to me, it's been so subtle. So I'm not waiting for a firework. I just don't know how it happened to me, but yeah, it was
Instead of relaxing
subtle.
into it, let it stabilise. Instead of saying it's got to be better, it's got to be different.
No, I just don't have patience for that process. Let me be honest. I just hate process. So I want a sudden thing rather than...
But it's not up to you. You are not the doer.
I know.
You see that this is just a desire. It's a desire floating through the space of awareness.
Who's this eye you're talking about?
Whatever it is, it's not me. Because I know I don't bloody exist. I've seen it 100 times.
Well, you
Whatever
don't- you know-
energy
you
is
know
in
you don't
here.
believe this. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for seeing this clearly in 1 second as it happened to you, like that all concept stopped.
Well, if you don't exist, you're not going to see anything clearly.
That's also true.
That's the point.
And when we compare ourselves to others, we become vain and bitter. You know, you're just reinforcing an illusory self. You know, you want something that somebody else allegedly has, and yet you are already that.
So you go from I want that to I am that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
I think, you're doing your head in, and but I've been there lots of times, and at times it still feels like that. So it's really investigating that I that is really trying to get something. It's like you're going through that portal or that filter, thinking I am this filter trying to get something. So you need to step back and see the whole filter itself as being this conceptual, imagined entity, mitra, trying to grasp something. But if it's imagined, can something imagined actually achieve or become something? Sort of. It's something imagined in your dream, someone chasing you, trying to kill you. Could they actually kill you? No. It's imagined. So they can't actually become something because it's all a dream, a concept. So you're that dream trying to get something, to kill something that you can't kill in some way. I don't know.
So when you say, I'm waiting for a process, I can't take process, this is a filter.
Yeah. You're using the wrong...
So there is no process.
There's
Agree?
no process,
There is no
because
process.
you're using the wrong tool to get somewhere. The mind can't... an imagined thing can't become something because it doesn't exist in the first place.
So every time it feels like I'm waiting for something or there is a process, I can just go back see that there is no process.
Investigate that's trying to get something.
Okay.
Also,
Investigate that
Thank you.
thing that's trying to achieve something and see that. Okay, what's seeing it for starters?
Okay.
It's a witnessing of it and going, well, I can't. Yeah, who's the witness? I'm the awareness of it. It's tricky, but going into the mind and trying to get it through the mind it's never going to get there. It's impossible.
It's just the seeking that is killing me.
Yes.
I'm tired, exhausted. I'm really exhausted.
Investigate the seeker.
Here, there is a couple of comments from our online community. Ram says, doubt is just another thought, another concept. And Vivek says, too much questions move you away from the self. And I want to comment on that. See, your presumption is, and you're finding a proof for that you're not getting it, that there is something else to be gotten. And the confirmation bias, which is the basic pattern of psychology, proves you that you were right. How about you start, instead of proving yourself that you're not getting it, you prove yourself that you are it. And find the evidence, how is that true? You're seeing right now, yes, things happening. Oh, thinking's happening, desiring's happening. That's a different sort of approach. You take a standpoint of life rather than taking a standpoint of the mind that wants to get something, and it can't, it never will.
Apart from the fact you're already that.
Yes, and there is Sally also. Jyoti says, doubts and desires are just thoughts. You are aware of them, so they can't be you. Yeah, watch them like waves, you are the depths, you're not the surface. Sally, I love the description of trying to get a dream character to do something. Yeah, and watch that persistent identity. Like what Jane was saying, what's the conceptual image? Me, the seeker. And how is it really playing out? How it shows up and goes, and it's not who you are. And Tazi says goodbye. And Jasmine says, You are almost close, Mitra. I was exactly at your state, so totally can understand the frustration. Just trust on Bob's words blindly. So that's that.
Yeah, Mitra, it's just maybe thought doesn't disappear. Thought doesn't. The mind has thoughts arise in it, even with realization. Some people's minds will go quiet for a long period of time, but the mind is always doing what the mind does, trying to keep you safe and trying to keep you alive and all that stuff. And it goes ba 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 ba. If you're looking for a mind that's empty of thought, there may be. You said that for 3 weeks you were quiet. That was remarkable. Why are you not holding on to that reality and that memory as opposed to what the mind, the thoughts are thinking that you're the thoughts that are arising?
I don't longer think I don't think I'm the thought. My problem is that happened to me. I didn't do anything. It just happened. But I'm just saying I can't ever. I knew even after I lost it, I knew that I can't go back there. But I mean, my issue is the seeker. I'm exhausted of this seeker. I can't drop it because I'm still waiting for that clear seeing moment, that I can just see who I am. Because I see, I see what I'm not, but I haven't seen what I am.
Here, Bob, go.
If you're seeing what you're not, what's the opposite of not being not? You must be.
Your words, what it is, but I can't say what it is myself.
Well, can you say you are not?
I'm not the thoughts.
But you can say you not exist?
No.
There you go.
So
I am the existence then.
Right, yes.
And what is the existence?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who wants to know?
Who wants to know?
Business. Do you think Bob knows who is what is
So,
existence?
okay, so what I'm tired of is this seeking. Let's
Yes.
put it there. And this believing that there is a process.
Yes.
These two are the only things that troubling me.
And here is what Saul has to say. He says, it is impossible to think oneself into enlightenment. Be present with underlying energy of desireness, wantingness. Notice the addiction to it. Let go of resisting it and identification with it. Drop through it and beyond it. Yeah, that's beautifully said. Thank you, Saul. Yeah. Just notice the addiction, notice that persistent thinking and doubting and that mind activity that somehow it wants to assist, but it can't think itself beyond the mind. Mind cannot think itself beyond the mind. It has to stop. And now Ram says the notion of personal enlightenment is a scam. It keeps seekers on endless cycle of suffering and gurus with a job for life. Yeah, you are already that. There's nothing to be achieved, and you know it, 100% certainty. You know that you exist. But what is it that exists that you can never ever find out? You cannot know what you are. You can know what you are not exclusively. You're not exclusively the body. You're not exclusively the mind. You're not exclusively the elements, the water, fire, earth. You're not exclusively your thinking. But you cannot deny that you are. And this is all now, if you can't deny that you are on the same page as Bob, Buddha, Jesus, and Muhammad, or whoever else realized that they are. And who doesn't realize that they exist? Anyone claims they don't exist? Hello, we all on the same page. It's just that for whatever habitual reason, mind finds it unimportant, unsignificant, and it looks for something bigger and better. There is nothing bigger and better than the miracle of existence. Unnameable, ungraspable. You can't put your finger on it. You can't encapsulate it in the image or concept. It will forever be a mystery. What you are will forever be a mystery. You will never be able to point to it as an object. I am this object. No. You are the awareness, the cognizing of any object that shows up. I don't know what I am. Bob doesn't know what he is. Buddha or Jesus, they never claimed that they knew what they were. It's unobjectifiable. But it's also undeniable that you are and you know it. It's just that you listen to your mind, which says, yeah, but this is bullshit. I don't care about that. I care about the special states and thoughtless states. Don't care about your mind. Go to your heart and stay with what you know for certain already. And the mystery will just shine forth. It's incredible. The moment you disregard or doubt the doubter, doubt the doubting mind, it constantly wants to prod, no, this moment's not good enough, I'm not getting it. Doubt the doubter.
Okay. Thank you.
It's seeing that one that's like, I want to get this moment back, and I want to get this, and I want to get that. It's simple. I think it's just investigating that seeker has been false. You're not that. Yeah, it sounds like the mind wants to complicate it a lot more, but it's seeing this thing that's trying to get stuff, and I want that back, and waiting for this moment. It's not happening to me. Investigate that. That's trying to. That's the false version. That's trying to achieve
And also, you know, I was thinking of Terry that used to come here. You know, imagine if you lost your memory. You had no memory, right? So say you had amnesia, something happened and you had amnesia. You would still be. You would still exist, right? And then all of a sudden the memory came back and the chatter started again, and the narration about everything that's going on, and the pleasure, pain, happy, sad, me, you, I get it, I don't get it, blah, blah, blah. The whole time you still existed. So it's the identification with the separate, illusory self, the me, you know. So if I say to you, who are you? What do you say?
I haven't got a clue.
Okay, that's good.
Beautiful.
You're on the right track.
Yeah.
So I can't help you too much, I mean, because I feel like I've just had it, and I really can't explain it. But one thing you said, Bob, I don't think it was necessarily a pointer, but try and hold the word, because I find it really easy to identify with my thoughts, but when I think of it as words, even the eye can see that words aren't real. Yeah. But thoughts are really. But if I think of thoughts as just words, then I feel like it's a lot easier to say that that's not what I am.
Good point.
Yeah, and just something Kat said as well, that I feel like it happened around a week ago, but it was the least. You said it was the least significant thing that's happened to me, because it was just already. Yeah. It was just nothing changed. But I guess the paradox is it's extremely profound at the same time. But yeah, that's what I have to say.
Identification, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's about where you put your identifications.
Yeah.
Where identification lands, I should say.
Where the identification is focused.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, well said.
Beautiful. We got Arthur says, we have Bradley says, peace beyond all understanding. And Arthur, it is, and this is from Swami Rama Tirtha, it is better to have a bullet in your heart than a doubt. Wow. Yeah, doubt hurts. Bullet in the heart doesn't, probably kills you quickly. And Hasmukht says, the cause of frustration is we want to realize it, which is beyond the mind, with the mind. Like trying to see our own eyes. That's trying to enter noumenon through phenomenal. Exactly. Well said. Yeah. It's never going to happen.
What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it?
Nothing.
Say it again. I had a mic.
What's wrong with right now if you don't think about it?
There you go. Yeah, that's a beautiful shortcut. Beautiful shortcut out of the mind. Although it may not last very long. Well, when the discipline sets in, it will arise whenever it's necessary.
You're not thinking about it. You haven't disappeared. You haven't stopped breathing. Heart hasn't stopped beating. Life is going on. But you're not conceptualizing it. You're not unaware. And you are aware of everything. You're aware of things in this room. If you're aware of something, it means it's objective. All this thing is appearing in that awareness. It's all objects. Who is the subject? That awareness must be the subject. Are you unaware right now? There you are. Yeah.
But? No, but.
Be quiet.
It really is. It really, really is that simple. That's the joke. That's why they call it a cosmic joke. Everybody knows that 100% of the time. It's only the thought that objects to it. And what is the thought? Like Chris was saying, it's just a word. I remember Tony used to say, it's just a line of letters. And now, for some crazy habitual joke of a reason, we give more credibility to that pattern than to what enables that pattern to even exist. The true mystery of existence, if not for that, that thought couldn't even occur. So what's more significant? And mind still says, no, that's ignore the nothing. Focus on the thought. That's the joke. You know it. You ever did. You always, forever, always did. You always knew that you existed. But what you are, you can never know. Ever.
Yeah, what is, where is awareness or consciousness if you're not thinking about it? And for that matter, even if you're sitting there and no thoughts are coming, if there's a moment you think existence is even there, it's because it was a brief thought.
That's right. Yeah.
With the thoughts off, there's nothing there.
That's exactly.
Because nothing
right.
pops up to be said here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So,
even asserting or denying existence is unnecessary.
So I think it's a big confusion actually personally when people, but this is just the experience here, when people go on about awareness and consciousness, because every time I've looked, like you said, neither of those two things have ever been there. Because every time the looking happens, it's a happening. Every time that happens, there are no thoughts there, like right now there were no thoughts. So never ever once has something called awareness or consciousness showed up.
Beautiful.
At the looking.
No, it can't. Yeah. It can't because it doesn't exist.
So I reckon it's just a yet another assumption that is a concept that pops up everywhere.
Absolutely.
And in a non-dual field a lot too. Yeah. But I don't think they're necessary.
No, it's not. Ultimately, when the realizations occur, there is no need to label anything at all.
It doesn't happen, does it?
Yeah. The labeling happens only if someone requests for help and needs
and
a pointer.
The concept pops up here, but it's just a concept.
That's right.
That's right. Really
calling it awareness, calling it life, calling it intelligence, energy, calling it existence, all rubbish. Consciousness, all rubbish, all unnecessary. They're just labels, they're just pointers.
The only assumption that really does come up here is kind of one that Bob Matt says. There is no void. We can probably say that there is some sort of universe here.
But even that is already
but
too much
it's a thought popping up at that moment, isn't it? It's just a
because even trying to even trying to verify whether there is or it isn't is already too much thinking.
Yeah.
It's
It's
unnecessary.
already a moment of no seeing.
Yeah, look at this girl. She's not preoccupied with any of it
Yeah.
at all.
It's just clear seeing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, she doesn't care whether there's awareness or consciousness. No, she does have a frontal lobe, but she doesn't have default mode network, which translates and conceptualizes everything into a thought. And that's why she doesn't suffer psychologically.
Yeah, and I just think of that Gangaji, when I saw her years ago, she just said, we are not the story that we have about ourselves or anything else. Forget about the stories. When they come up, just go, oh, that's the nature of the mind. That's what it does. Pleasure, pain, happy, sad, me, you, desire, fear, all those things. That's the nature of it. It's just doing its thing. But, all of it is just naming. So it's watching without naming, especially not naming me. We don't want to go there, Yes.
Just quickly, what seems to be working here, or maybe seen, is you go. Is that it's all just energy, and the habit to try and name it something doesn't see the energy itself. So, yes, energy patterns is being seen more and more. It's just energy, and it's vibrating in its own way, and it's not me. It's just a vibration of energy. But what the habit of trying to call it something and define it is where it gets lost.
Yes.
But the energy itself is still there. So you're still there as energy, but not as Mitra.
Beautiful. Yeah. Beautiful. And we have a couple of comments. Ram says, Mitra is a mathematician, but this is not a mathematical proof to be solved. Take it as a compliment. And no, you're not a good mathematician?
Not even interested.
Yeah. Think of it like a language of spheres.
Language of making.
And Bradley says, Pi use life, pure intelligence energy, undeniable sense of existence, living intermittent finite experiences. Yeah, beautiful.
Sorry.
Go on.
I was just going to say what you said is interesting. You said problem solving, and that's really interesting, Mitra, because there's no problem to be solved. It's the mind that's trying to solve a problem that isn't actually there. So there's no problem to be solved at all. It's good just point. Accept that is that, and you're already that, and the problem disappears. So there is no problem solving. That's
But that's the nature of the mind.
That's the nature of the mind, is to solve problems.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where the suffering lies. It's creating problems. It sees problems to be fixed, because life is, its function is to keep you alive to some way, this body. But that's the thing. It's the and then identifying that is you at your essence is where the problem is. That's where it arises from, and that's what the thing. So there is no, and the mind doesn't stop problem solving.
No,
it's still there. It's just this. You now see that there's much more going on than just problem solving.
It's just appearing upon the screen.
Yeah, and it's about the identification. As everybody's stated already. You identify with your mind, your problem-solving mind, or you see that it is problem-solving. Okay, thank you. That saved me there.
Yeah, but the problem is only for the mind.
Exactly. Yeah, I know, and for the survival of the apparent apparition
in
this context.
Just saying that in this context, the problem is only there for the mind. There's no problem for what's behind it all is just that. So there's no problem in that. and the mind is going, oh, I can't get this, so there's got to be a problem. But it's only if we think about it. That's the one that I always find the best. What is wrong with right now if we don't think about it?
That is the best.
You know, and there is no problem. But there's also no mind in not thinking about it. So
no mind, no problem.
Yeah, and no buts in that.
Well, I think there is a problem at times. You have to get out of the way of that bloody tram. Or you have to.
Does that
Well, the mind body does that, right? Fucking tram, get me out. Excuse me, have to get me out of there.
It's instinctive.
It's instinctive. That's right. And I think the mind is just an instinctive instrument. Mind of an instrument of instinctive behaviour of the body-mind, and it's the identification that is you is where the big misidentification is. And you've already had 3 weeks of no mind. That was profound, and that is wonderful. That's awakening.
I didn't see who I am.
Nobody does.
There is no am. There is no am. There's just isness.
Ego was fully functioning back then.
Yeah.
Nisargadatta says we try to grasp it with the concept and we fail. He says we're bound to fail because there's no conceptual awareness. It's non-conceptual awareness. Are you unaware right now? Got any concepts? Thoughts?
It's a good hint here from Jasmine. She says, try stop seeing without closing your eyes. Just try to stop seeing. You can't. Try stop hearing. You can't. And Hashmut says, instead of our full attention to the awareness I am, we go on objectifying it and want to realize it through objectifying consciousness, which is not possible. And Linda says, there is no one doing anything. The mind only interprets what is happening. Exactly. Adrian.
And this is probably a story, but here I am butting. I just keep showing up because I have to keep showing up, and sometimes the pain has to get that great for it to be exhausted. Sometimes you have to go all the way with that mental anguish trying to find it until it's exhausted and something snaps. So I've had a number of dark nights of the soul with this thing, and then sometimes it's like trying to get that, and then boom, something drops. But not thinking, waiting for something to drop either. But you might have to exhaust yourself out like I did at times. Possibly. Maybe.
Honestly, I've been through really heavy dark nights for 3 years, really heavy. Like beyond me. I didn't even know why I should be suffering, because personally I was in the best place in my life. But anyway, it just happened out of the blue, and I went through a heavy suffering. It's now 4 years past, I'm at peace now. Everything is peaceful. The only thing that is not is the seeker. I can't drop that. If the seeker drops, I'm at peace. But it's just driving me crazy. I wake up with this, and I go to bed with this desire. I'm exhausted. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm really exhausted. I can't live life like this. I don't know. When you talk about process, if I think about myself, even 5 years later in this as I am, I'd rather slash my wrist. I'm exhausted. I don't have any issue really. Everything else is at peace.
You can't drop the seeker, you're saying. Or maybe there is no seeker to drop.
Therein lies the problem.
And maybe there is no one to drop the seeker either. If you think that there is an I and a seeker, and I can't live with myself any longer, I can't live with that persistent identity, well, that's a good place to be. It is a dark night of the soul. And we are here, and you're in Melbourne. You could just come a couple of times a week, you could just make the most of it, or catch up on Zoom. And just really ride that wave of suffering, because it doesn't happen to everyone the same way, but Bob and I, and Adrian, as he says, and probably many more people, that amplified suffering made almost impossible to see the mind, to not see, to overlook the mind activity that causes the suffering. So when the suffering gets really intense, it is almost, you can't miss it. So perhaps it is a good place to be. It doesn't, it absolutely doesn't. Suffering doesn't feel good. But it is a wonderful accelerator for investigation and a motivator. It really does motivate well.
The suffering's a pointer.
Yes.
The suffering is a deep pointer. It's coming up to be seeing, like, what am I trying to say? Like, it's coming up to be seen as not me. Or it has a purpose. It's sort of like, it keeps poking you, saying, this is not the way. You know. Yeah, I don't know.
There is this constant longing and love for the truth.
Yes.
And
constant overlooking.
I wake up with it, I go to bed with it. And I can't help it. It's there and I can't get rid of it. It's just operating 24/7. It's exhausting.
So would you say that you have no power over it?
No.
So you're powerless over it?
Go, Bob.
Yeah.
Sorry?
So you're saying you're powerless over it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Bob
right.
wants to say something.
She's trying to know the truth like Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth.
I can't handle the truth.
Yeah, the thing is, you have that profound love and longing for the truth. Why are you longing for it? Why do you want that so bad? What is it in you?
I really try to drop it.
No, you don't have to. No. Just keep loving it. It's okay. It's just when you love it, when you have that deep longing for the truth, how could you ever even long for something that you don't innately know in your heart? You know what you're longing for, don't you? You're longing for the truth. So you know that truth that you're longing for. It's just the longing that is a presumption that you don't know it or you don't have it. But if you ride on that wave, how much you love it, would you die for it? Would you completely surrender for it? Would you just completely annihilate yourself, dissolve into that longing to the point that only that truth, only the beloved is there? And no you, just the beloved. That's what Kabir was saying, you know?
But I don't know what it is. I don't know
have
what
to
I'm
know.
doing.
It's not an object. You can't. It's not a golden. What was it? A golden bull or something. It's the truth.
You're longing for something you already are. You are the truth itself. You are life itself. So you can't become something that you already are.
But not as a concept, of course. As an image, you are so far away. You know, as an image, you are so. The source is clean, pure, unadorned emptiness or energy or the field of infinite potentiality. And you already assumed the position, so that energy got almost like still in some point. It's still the same thing because there is only one, but it's so solidified through the energy of belief that you know that you are that person, that seeker. I am a seeker. I am a seeker longing for the truth. This is who I am. This is not who you are, because it's not always there.
So what you're suggesting is there is really no truth to know. That's what I get from what we discussed before.
It's absolute. It's absolute. Nothing be added to it. Nothing taken away from it.
So there is no truth to know.
No, you are that.
I am that.
Experience of not knowing. Beautifully put.
I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life.
I am.
The sense
is
of
the
presence.
way. I am is the truth. I am is the truth.
I am
The
is
fact
the
that you
truth.
are,
Okay.
the fact of your own existence is the truth, isn't it? It is, isn't it? Try to deny it. Try to stop being. No, you can't. So you know it's the truth. So you know the truth innately. You know that you are innately, for sure. That's the truth, and you know it. Not good enough, huh? Not good enough. Existence not good enough. Adrian.
I was saying, right now, you're actually okay. You're here. You're aware. You're hearing this. So that's where you are. When you start thinking that you're not okay, that's when you're not okay.
It's like sometimes in that 3 weeks, and it happened just occasionally, I just somehow, it's like a portal. It's like I just get aligned with it. Something like that. There is an alignment. I don't know how to put it in words. It just happened. You know, for a second. It's like being aligned. I don't know how it happens.
Who cares?
Exactly. And
Right,
can you
okay.
unknow that?
Huh?
Can you unknow that?
Know what? Unknow what?
Direct experience.
No.
And what is different right now? You know, like what is for the 3 weeks? Then you didn't have a concept that I don't know the truth. The concept was gone, and now the concept I don't know the truth is there. That's the only difference, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. So you one thought away from the same natural state.
There's only one thing left to do. The magic wand.
That's right.
Magic shouting.
That's right. Just hit it so hard.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank
you, Kat. Thank you, everyone.
Some beautiful sharings today.